Welcome back, guys, to my channel. This is Sofuego Wigs with Sophia, obviously, or Sabiduria, whatever you want to call me. I don't really care. So we're going to be making a 22-inch wig today, and yes, I did blur out the photo because I don't want you guys to see it until the end. Also, I can't bleach the knots because I don't have any bleach, so we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. I do want to mention that this is a beginner friendly video, so I already have some measurements on the wig, but I'll show you guys how I space out the wig cap, just to make sure you don't mess up, because when you're first starting out, like, you definitely want to make sure that you get your measurements correctly, okay? And that your wig is not like huge, because sis, that does not look good, okay? You're gonna be looking crazy, okay? Let's get to it. So it's gonna be a little bit of a weird situation. We're gonna be using 3 bundles of body wave hair from the Frontal Queen collection. These are gonna be 3 26-inch, but I'm actually going to be cutting the ends just because I like when the ends look fuller, and usually in the bundles, unless they're double stranded or double wefted or double drawn, they are thinner at the bottom. So you can see they're pretty long. The hair is really nice. This one's actually a few months old. Then the frontal from one of my favorite people on Instagram. I fucking love her. Her wigs are so fire. Like, y'all need to check her out. So this one's actually a 20-inch. This one's actually a straight. And I don't really care that I have a body wave bundles and straight hair, because I'm never gonna be using it in its natural form. For this one, like, I'm always gonna have it styled. Let's get started. Okay, so you need a mesh dome cap, or whatever cap you use. You can use a ventilated cap as well if you are using a machine. But I'm gonna be doing a hand sewn, so you're gonna need some type of measuring tape. I have 2 types right here. You can buy them on Amazon. They're very accessible. Then we have some scissors, some pins if you want to make it glueless, which I like to, as well as a band. Then we have some stuff just to hold the hair so it's out of the way. You're gonna need some metallic pens or Sharpies so you can mark your wig cap, especially if you're a beginner. I have some thread right here. It is, what is it, a poly thread. I would like to get, what do you call that, nylon thread, but I don't have some right now, so, and I'm moving soon, so it doesn't matter. Then you're gonna need some T-pins and some needles that are gonna be curved so it's easier, hairbrush, and your actual wig head. This one is actually, let's see, this one's a 21-inch. Because my head circumference was a 21-inch, and I also put the measurements on it. I'm gonna put on a link down below so you can check out a video from a woman that will help you get all 6 measurements, and I'll be making a video about that later. This is the nape area, and it comes around to the ears, to the temple. This is the front, and going back around to the temple, your ear, and then the back of the face. So let's go ahead and put on the dome mesh cap. So the V always goes to the back, but I don't like it, so I'm gonna put it in the front. This is gonna be the back for me. Okay, first things we're going to do is sew down the closure. And you want to make sure that you don't do it right along the cap. You want to do it 1 inch or 1.5 inches in front. That way, when you're wearing it, people can only see the closure and not the cap and the tracks. I did fold it as well and cut it in the middle so I could have a marker for the middle of the closure. And then you pin it down. I did make a big mistake here by not pinning it to the cap. I do recommend that you pin it down to the cap. That way, the cap doesn't move right under you. Foreshadowing. And then you move the hair out the way and go ahead and pin it down. Now you want to make sure that you're pinning it down super flat, okay? You want to pull it and make sure that it's super flat and braid the hair out of the way so that it lays super flat on your head and doesn't bulk up. This part is pretty self-explanatory. I'm gonna pin down the measurement tape, and then you're going to be spacing each track about an inch away from each other if you have 3 bundles or so and a closure. That's how I like to do it. Now, I am not cutting the wefts, so I'm actually going to be connecting my lines. But if you are going to cut your wefts, which you will have a little bit more shedding, but I don't know, some people like to do it that way, where others don't, then you will make your lines straight across, but a little bit curved up. I just like to make mine like this. And then I put a little bit of dotted lines for the closure itself, so I wouldn't move it so much for that, because guys, it did move on me. But it's all right. I'm gonna show you guys how to fix that later. Now for the thread, I put it through the needle, and then I'm making 3 knots. Then you're going to go ahead and put the needle through the cap, through the closure itself, and then in between the 2 strands of thread and pull. Then you're going to put it through the cap and through the lace again, and then double loop it and pull, and repeat the same process. Double loop it, pull, under the cap, double loop it, pull. You guys are going to see this better when I do it on the wefts, because right now it's really fast, or you can slow it down the video. Also, make sure you do not sew through the elastic band, okay? Ever. Or it's gonna lose its elasticity, just through the cap. So as you see, I'm going through the weft right now. I know it's a little bit hard to see, but then I go through the 2 strands, and then I pull. I might do another loop again, but only the first time do you go through the 2 strands. After that, you just go through the full, I guess, the full threading, the full thread. But yeah, and then you cut the end. You guys are gonna see this right here. Boom, you go through once, you go through twice, pull. And I repeat that process. Some people like to just go around once and then pull. I like to go around twice just because I want it to feel super secure. And guys, this is pretty much super repetitive. You're going to keep doing this throughout. The only 3 differences that you're gonna see are when I run out of thread, when I'm folding the weft itself so it can lay super flat. I'll show you how to do that, or when I'm putting a new bundle. So, but it's really repetitive. That's why making wigs takes no talent. Now styling wigs is, I'ma say, that's a whole nother animal. But yeah. So I'm gonna come back once we run out of needle or we're folding the weft. Okay, so we're coming up here on running out of thread. Oh, get that clip out of the way, honey. Okay, so I go through the weft, through the cap, and then I loop around 2 times, and then I pull really hard, you know, real tight and firm, and then I make 3 knots just to make sure that the knot doesn't come out, and then you have a loose weft. I make lots of knots, honey, okay? My wefts are not going nowhere. Like, nowhere, period. Okay, so the same process that I told you guys for when I started the weft. Yep, doing the same thing. Needle went through the cap, through the weft, and it went between the strands, pulled, and I made like 2 or 3 knots, and boom, kept going. The same process. First, I fold it, pin it, and I push down with my thumb really hard to make sure that it's super flat. I give you guys a close-up right here of me going through the weft, through the cap, not the elastic, okay? Not the elastic, honey. And I gotta pull that hoe, cause that hoe was not trying to come out. Let me tell you, that hoe was not trying to come out. That bitch was trying to fight. You see, struggle mode, period. Sometimes you gotta fight with it. Sometimes they give you attitude, and we ain't having none of that. But yes, I go through it again. The same goddamn thing, okay? Oh, you see, I looped it. It's like, nah, I looped it 3 times, but the first time it came undone. That's why it looked like it was 4. So now you pin the weft along your line, and you're going to repeat the same process, honey. So I'm gonna let you guys sit back and watch, and I'm gonna stop talking. Cause girl, you is annoying. It's like, nah, hopefully I'm explaining this well for you guys. But real quick, so if you guys look at the closure itself, it is a little lumpy. So I'm not gonna lie, guys, I was rushing some, and I did not take the time to really unpin and pull, cause that's what you gotta do. You gotta make sure that it's laying super flat. That's not why I had to fix it. The reason I had to fix it, which you guys will see later on, and yes, honey, it will be fine. It's all good. Is because the cap moved under while I was sewing it. But yeah, anyway, I'm talking too much on that. Just watch, and yeah, you'll see it later. It was fixed. It was good. Period. Hey guys, popping back in. So real quick before I did the last track, I had to move those flyaways out the way because girl, they was getting all up in my shit. I used my bedhead wax stick you can get on eBay, Amazon, all that. Obviously for this last one, we didn't have a lot of space, so I did cut the wefts on this one after we did the top of the head, and I went back and put the other tracks and other parts of the head where I thought that there wasn't that much hair or there was a big gap, because I don't like my wigs to look skimpy, okay? If you want your wig to be super flat and no volume, space your tracks at the top more than I did so that it has more room to lay super flat. So while we're sewing, since this is a repetitive thing, I'm gonna tell y'all what happened. So yeah, so the cap moved from under me when I was sewing the wig, and I don't know if you guys noticed, you probably did, especially if you're a pro, that on one side of the closure, it's sewn like right next to the cap, as you guys can see right here. Like the hairline is aligned with the cap, and on the other side, it's like, no, there's mad space, okay? The hairline is like super far forward and the cap is super far back, okay? So that's where I messed up. The reason why I wanted to keep that in there is because I want you guys to know that we're not perfect. You know, I don't have a cosmetology license. I'm self-taught, and sometimes you're gonna make mistakes in order to learn. That's just what it is gonna be. What's gonna be, and that's why you must experiment on your own wigs. That way you never sell a client any type of messed up weave or messed up wig or messed up anything, because girl, okay, that's your reputation. So you better make sure that you practice, that you make mistakes. I kept this in here because I really want you guys to learn from it. I want other people to not make the same mistakes that I make. So that's why I kept it in here. So right now I am sewing the rest of the bundle that I had left. To be honest, I really cut through this part because you guys saw this over and over and over again. I didn't film the whole like cutting the threads and resewing and everything of the closure when I fixed it. I tried to get as much as I could, but at this point my phone was giving me so much trouble, okay? I filmed this through my phone and my phone was giving me so much trouble about storage. Stuff just wasn't transferring to my iPad because I had so many clips, guys. I had to transfer, like, I think I had to edit 40 different clips throughout this. So it was just too hard. I filmed certain parts I didn't. So once we finish here, you see I had finished it. Boom, ba-da-ba, boom, ba-dam, boom. And then I went to try it on. Poor girl, she don't know what's coming. Ew. But yeah, I'm just being ratchet, okay? Don't judge me and my little poof. Ooh. So I was so hyped, y'all. I was done. I was like, yes. But I also knew in my heart, I was like, some always get messed up. But we gonna see what happens. Yes, so here's some pictures so you guys can see how off it was. If you missed it, go back. I'm actually taking pins off here, but I wanted you guys to see this from the beginning. I ended up pinning down the whole wig under the first weft, under the top weft, and I pinned down some of the cap as well. And then I cut the thread completely off for the oh my god, my words are leaving me, for the closure, and I just re-put it back on. I put it right the fuck back on. But yes, this time I made sure to stretch it as much as I possibly could. Okay, which was a little bit limited since the wig was, you know, already made. But for the most part, I got it real flat, minimal bumps. And I was making sure I was sewing through the cap and not through the weft, because if you have to remove your closure again, then of course you don't want the track to come off with it or the weft to come off with it. Does that make sense? Y'all gotta let me know in the comments if I made sense and if I did a good job at finessing this. You know, leave a like, subscribe, girl, see my growth. You're gonna see growth, sis. I'm gonna be putting out more videos, okay? I really didn't film this that much because I was really running out of storage, guys. But yes, it still looked flawless. Girl, I was so happy I finished. Yes, baby girl. Look at that hair. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and go and let you guys enjoy this. Let you guys see this. The process, the ending, the everything. Okay?